Yes, welcome back again. And today we are here with a new topic and the topic is need for spiritualism to redefine modernism, right? As we have, as a human race, we have come a long way and we have made a lot of progress, right? But at the same time, this progress has really taken a toll on our, life and our health and our mind as well. So we are in a search of some way out, right? And so, what can that way out be, and how can this be achieved, right? So today we are going to talk about such methodologies, such you can say practices, which can really help people, turn their lives into the blessed, into the best ones, and they will be feeling blessed out, blissed out. They'll be feeling, very happy, and they would the problems may be there in life, but they will not actually be suffering. They will not actually be feeling miserable. And this is the aim of the human life is, right? Because we cannot get rid of all the problems. Problems will always be there because they are inseparable part of life. But there should be something which can give people something they are looking for, something they are willing to live, right? And here, is the role of spiritualism. We cannot renounce the world. This is not going to be possible for each and everybody, and renouncing the world is not going to be possible because this world is called the karma bhumi, right? And we cannot do away with all the responsibilities which we are supposed to be taking up. So what can a person do so that they are going to be happy, and they are going to redefine themselves, and they can rediscover themselves, right? Without having to renounce this world, right? And they can reach the highest self, right? So this is what we are going to talk about. We are actually talking about spiritualism, and how can spiritualism be adopted to redefine the modernism, because everybody is living a modern lifestyle, but in what manner it should be led so that people can blend modernism with the spiritualism, right? So across me is my friend Robin, and he will also be shedding some light on the same topic before we go deeper into it. Yes, Robin, over to you.
Okay, thank you, and very good evening, first of all. And I'm truly very exhilarated tonight because I was really, planning to have such a topic for a long time, but finally we got this topic. Since we have decided to discuss about spirituality and its significance in life, especially in the modern life that we live, right? Apart from this, when we are going to deal with this issue, which is sensitive to a certain extent, because when we talk about spirituality, sometimes people understand it that we are talking in the context of religion. To a certain extent it is right, but I'll try to make my discussions, make my points, especially on this particular topic, confined to only spiritualism which is only confined to the life which is defined as a moderate lifestyle, because the entire discussion is going to be based on this, because since we are tackling and handling this modern lifestyle, especially when we are somewhere disappointed, dissatisfied, and discontent for the kind of results that we have, even after we work hard a lot, even after we achieve things a lot, we accomplish our plan, but still somewhere we are finding not that much internal peace, and therefore we are looking for some other records, or we are looking for some other remedy so that we could at least make ourselves feel satisfied, at least so that we could not be suffering anymore, right? At the mental level, at the physical level, I mean, everyone knows and accepts this brutal fact that the kind of mental and the physical distress that people experience these days, especially in the modern lifestyle. And when we talk about modern lifestyle, we are actually talking about all its ingredients. So when we talk about this modern lifestyle and trying to spiritualism to be melded with this modern lifestyle, we are in no way saying that this entire modern lifestyle should be renounced. There is not at all a purpose from our side, especially from this video and discussion for which we are for which we are making our views and for which we are trying to make people know about it, right? Our only purpose is to make how you can make your this modern lifestyle, which is the 21st century lifestyle, to even more blissful, to be more living in that a very unprecedented level of dimension of a person where there'll be not that much suffering, but yes, there'll be a solution also, right? So we cannot expect that we are completely going to be devoid and bereft of all these kinds of suffering. It is not possible since we are human and since we are made up of matter atoms. So this is something which is true. This is fact that we are going to suffer, right? Now and then it's a general and a natural process. Even the most elevated saints, even if you include Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Swami Vivekanand, or let's say any other name, they also had suffered, you know, a different level of diseases at different point of time. So these things are very natural, so we should not neglect this fact, and this is a part and parcel of the life, right? But we are trying to suggest and we are trying to infer from this discussion is that just with a merge of in spiritualism, especially with this modern lifestyle, our modern lifestyle could be even more you know you know uh, acceptable in the sense that yes, people would find that life is worthy of living, which I think many people have lost the faith in the life because when we see the data of all those people who are committing suicides on a regular basis, seems that they have somewhere uh, not being satisfied with the kind of lifestyles they are having, right? So all these things are in our considerations, and keeping these things in our views, we are going to deliver this entire discussion as a recording to you, and let's see how it goes. Over to you.
Yes, and everybody wants to live the best life, right? So why not have such such practices which can really help us live that kind of life which we are dreaming of, right? So that here, my question for you to answer is, tell me how can spiritualism reshape our understanding of success in modern and materialistic world?
Can you please repeat the question? I missed something. Yeah.
How can spiritualism reshape, or you can say reshape our understanding of success and success in this modern materialistic world?
Okay. So it is such a nice question, first of all. Kudos for you to raise such question. But I have a doubt on one thing, whether the majority finds this question with full of validity, because even I think the majority of the people is still are living in their fallacies or living with the knowledge that there is not such need or no such need to even redefine the success, right? And they are
Mm-hmm.
going with this flow of whatever the definition they have designed success, and which has been a representation of this materialistic world. So according to majority of the people, that the definition of success goes like this: that as much as you have power in your hand, position, as much as you have resources, and to what extent you can access to this, is that what defines your success, is what that defines your position. That is what is the overall and the superficial definition of success. I still think that many people still agree with this, and many people are chasing, right? I mean, look at the condition right now that is prevailing in the society that clearly suggests that yes, people have accepted it without having any question, as we are now hurling a question at it. So first of all, we need to make these people believe or to know that in how many ways we need to understand, or we need to define that yes, success needs to be redefined. So we need to find all those grounds on which we could actually prove the validity of this question. So the first thing which I want to do, especially through your question, I want to prove the validity of this question. And what is the question is that why do we need to reshape? Why do we need to reshape the definition of success with the help of spirituality, right? So for this, I establish or try to lay down certain grounds for all the viewers to know and understand that why they should think in that way as we are thinking. The direction we have now, opted for, they should also do the same thing. So the ground which are very common and which are very relevant, what we see today in the social system. I'm not telling people to go and read about these definition of success written in the book. What I'm telling them very clearly is that to know what they experience it on an individual level. So there is nothing like a talk of bookish that we are going to do here in this. So what we need to check from our own experience is that how do we see the entire social system work right now. So what do you find in the social system that prevails the most? That is the competition, that is the hardcore cutthroat competition. Now this cutthroat competition leads to the build up stress, right? And which is the sole cause for this building up a mental and physical distress at the same time, right? So the way we are constructing the society and the way we are creating the ambience around us, it's itself very much challenging for all of us to tackle, to manage, right? So this is the first ground which we need to counter, which we need to discuss here in this topic. And on the basis of this, we need to go back to redefinition of the success, right? So, and the next thing, don't we see in the social system that how we are declining in our own you know eyes, as our image is diluting by by presenting the picture of unrighteousness. I mean, we are completely today, not completely if, but we are behaving more like a person who is devoid of moral conduct. So this is itself endangering the entire humanistic values, right? Those norms, those rudimentary norms on which the social system is erected. So all these things are now declining day by day just because of this definition of success we have adopted. Because what has been very popular in today's social system is that you have to accomplish your goal by hook or by crook. Now, this by hook or by crook is somewhere can be identified as that you can deal with any possible way out just because of you want to achieve, you want to accomplish in your planning, right? So these have been the understanding among the common people, and this is how it is leading us to face this enormous suffering, including mental and physical distress. So this is what the point which I think could provide a certain validity to this question. Now after we got this validity confirmed on this question, now we move to the very relevant question that you asked as to how, with the help of spiritualism, we can redefine the success, right? This was a particular question.
Yeah.
So, see, when we talk about spiritualism, we need to understand uh, spiritualism only in the context of moderate lifestyle, because we are in no position, you and me or anyone or whosoever comes out with some hyperbolic word or the statements that we are able to renounce the entire world, we are able to abandon our own moral responsibility towards our families like the Gautam Buddha did. It is not our cup of tea. That's all we have to admit it. I mean, there are some people who can do that, but that requires a very rigorous, hard, you know, practice on a regular basis right from the childhood, as Shankaracharya did, as Vivekananda did. So these are limited figures. But what we have to do with ourselves, that is something the question at our hand, right? So we are not going to deal with this spiritualism in the context of renouncing the world. So first of all, this is the clarity which I want to give to all our viewers, right? My overall discussion on this particular spiritualism and in the context of spiritualism is all about how you could moderate your lifestyle. I mean, modernism is opposite to moderate lifestyle, if I can say, because modernism, on the one hand, makes you feel that you have to race up your life, you have to compete your life with the other person in all spheres of life, whether it is for employment, whether it is for the reasons of survival, whether it is for the reason of acquiring certain wealth, certain substance important for survivability. It is somewhere confining us to race, compete, and build up stress, which is a product of it, as we have discussed in the earlier part. On the other hand, what we have is a spiritual lifestyle or a spiritualistic lifestyle. It is a moderate lifestyle. In moderate lifestyle, what do we understand as a core meaning of it is that we need to be a sensible consumer. a sensible person who lives a life in a way which doesn't adversely affect the surrounding at all. But at the same time, it keeps the focus on the survivability. Survivability in a sense, what is important for survival is the only lead for the person, is what the greatest teaching of the spiritualism, right? And therefore, I think this teaching of spirituality is really important, is really substantial one, which has to be discussed among youth with the people on different platforms so that they must understand the significance of moderate lifestyle. I mean, people might understand this moderation in lifestyle somewhere deprives them of to live the lifestyle which they seek, especially through different their inspirational figures. Today, many people have their different inspirational figures. Many people find Shah Rukh Khan as their inspirational figure. Some people find Virat Kohli as their motivational figure. Many people are trying to imitate their inspirational figures. What they are trying to imitate, especially in them, is that their overall uh, power to utilize the resources, not the particular journey that they were on throughout the success, right? So this has been the mental state of many people right now. Here spiritualism comes out as a permanent remedy which makes people feel and realize that whatever we do, we have to do in a way that doesn't affect our surroundings adversely in any way. So in this way, if we live our lifestyle, we are somewhere doing, justification or justice to the life of others. We are being caring for the life of others. We are not hurting the biodiversity at the same time, which is also becoming a huge cause of concern for for many people as the climatic issues is emerging out due to over exploitations of the natural resources, which is also product of modern lifestyle. So spiritualism is something which has to be there to redefine the success in this manner. Only when you understand spiritualism as a lifestyle which teaches us how to live our life in a moderate lifestyle. Even when you acquire a lot of wealth, you use that wealth as a trustee. We are reminded of the one statement being made by Mahatma Gandhi, that even if you work hard a lot and on the basis of it you acquire a lot of wealth, but you should not be treating yourself as the owner of that wealth, but as a trustee. So when you behave like a trustee of your wealth, even you have earned it using your hard work, you should apply it, put into a particular transmission where it should be used for the public welfare, right? We have been uh, we have been introduced with many figures such as Swami Vivekananda himself. He applied all his intelligence for the welfare of the people. He never took care of how he could get a personal benefit. One other character like Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, he had a lot of opportunity being such an intelligent person that he could have lived his life without any misery somewhere abroad. But he chose to live within the country to do something for the welfare of their own people. So such kind of characters, when display their potential in such a way, it really becomes an inspirational figure for all of us. They have lived their life in a spiritualistic manner, and therefore they teach us to live the same way. So that's how we can reshape the modern lifestyle with the help of a spiritualistic lifestyle, without even thinking of renouncing the world, without even thinking abandoning our responsibility towards our own people. So that's how we could really achieve the main objective goal that we are setting up here. Just with the one thing, we need to merge a spiritualistic lifestyle with the modern lifestyle. Over to you.
We can also take some, one example from the life of Gautam Buddha, because when he was trying to reach that point where he could become awakened, right? He was going very harsh on himself, and he couldn't see those results. But when he adopted that moderate lifestyle, and I mean, he started doing those things in moderation, he reached that point when where he was called the awakened one, the enlightened one, right? And you can take the example of a day-to-day life. If and let's talk about exercise. If you are overdoing it, if you are pulling a lot of weight, the chances are you can end up pulling your muscles, right? And you can also get injured if you are doing it too much. But if you
Right.
do it in moderation, I think you will be shaping, or you'll be giving a particular shape to your body, right? And if you in the similar fashion, if you eat a lot, right, this is also going to have some adverse effect on you. You'll be feeling
Right.
sleepy, you'll be feeling drowsy, and you will not be able to feel yourself to be very energetic, right? So this is all about being means overdoing things, and being you can say overwhelmed by something. So here comes the role of spiritualism. It teaches
Right.
us to be moderate, right, in terms of life, in terms of using the things, and this is how we can turn the things to our advantage, right? My next question for you to answer is, tell me, how can spiritualism address the mental health crisis driven by modernism?
Okay. I mean, first of all, there has been a consensus on this very point that modernism really uh, does cause this mental stress, mental issues to people in this 21st century. And since we have talked a lot in our previous part, when we were responding to the previous question, when we were trying to figure out the validity of the first question as to how modern lifestyle leads us to face mental crisis, because modern lifestyle is full of challenges. When I say modern lifestyle is full of challenges and therefore it causes mental agony or it causes mental suffering, I don't mean that life is always free of suffering. In fact, life is full of challenges right from the birth. There is no doubt about it. But what we have done here, we have amplified this suffering to manifold. And that is what we have to recognize it, and we have to understand it. We have to cure it before it precipitates, right? To that extent where it completely goes out of our hand, which means it becomes completely uncontrollable. I'm becoming more concerned for a single fact that if you go and check the total percentage of population living in European countries, I mean, I feel very much surprised that even being the richest country or one of the richest countries, people there are suffering from mental suffering, mental stress. Many of them really need, sleeping pills to survive their night, even when they are highly educated. They are not just educated; they have gone through a very poor, you know, a part of their life in terms of its understanding. But what is there for them that causes a lot of mental suffering, which is also something and worthy of talking, worthy of discussion, right here on such platform. So, since we admit this very fact, we need to understand and try to find out at least one remedy which could ensure us that yes, this particular remedy could really help us survive this kind of mental suffering, and we could really come out victorious, we could come out healthy as we were before, right? Free of mental distress, right? So we have had already a lot of medications, we have gone through number of allopathy and psychologists, you can say their instructions too, but nothing provides a permanent result. Now, it has been seen over the last 10 years, ever since this meditation came out as a cure, as a remedial cure for all these kinds of mental distress. It has been seen and observed that many people started finding and started feeling absolutely free from all this mental distress as they were never facing it. There can be seen a very positive change in their lifestyle just by a small change in their lifestyle, that is by adopting this meditative lifestyle. Now, when you talk about meditation, I mean, it's a part of a spiritualistic lifestyle. I mean, see, as I talked earlier, and I keep repeating this, I keep reiterating this, that this entire spiritualism and its talk and discussions pertaining to it is all about moderation. It's all about things which is confined to its which is core meaning. I'm not including the religious aspect of it, right? So this is not a religious discussion. This is something which is really important, and therefore I want the gist of this discussion to be almost reaching out to the people who are seeking for such remedy, right? So when we talk about meditative lifestyle, what do we see? We see that it is a spiritualism underplay, or it is a spiritualism that is somewhere we are practicing. I mean, when you talk about all eightfold path, Ashtanga Yoga of especially Patanjali, what it talks about controlling your senses, to be living your life with full dignity, to be absorbing penance, to be absorbing austere conduct or life, make your life more disciplinary. Moreover, do meditation and always try to do something which is full of purposes, right? So all these things are there to teach you some ethical values at the same time, right? It is there through the spiritual teaching which make you realize how important such a lifestyle is. So when you try to control your senses with the help of meditation, you are controlling your emotions. I mean, if I ask you what is there which really causes a lot of a concern, a lot of mental issues or physical issues, then many of the people will say that they are not having a full control over their emotions, because it is their emotion which is there, which is a deep or rooted problem. Many people have lost their control, their hold over their emotions. These emotions surge up, these emotions surge down, whatever may happen to them, but there is nothing kind of control in the hand of the person, right? This spiritualistic lifestyle gives them a control over their emotion. So therefore, this spiritualistic lifestyle must be adopted by many people, or by people as much as it could be possible. I mean, we have already started celebrating Yoga Day, right? And this is itself, it talks about the glory of the meditation and the meditative lifestyle, as well as its overall impact on the larger number of people at a larger scale. So we cannot deny this spiritualistic lifestyle, and moreover, mental issues is all about our old figments and all about our thoughts, what you can say. So when you have a spiritualistic lifestyle, you can control all those emotions, regulate it, and you can regulate it in a way that it should always be in your control without hurting you in any way. So therefore, I think spiritualistic lifestyle can really make a big difference, as it provides you a handle of your emotions, and with the help of it, you could at least be able to manage your emotions, and especially it's surging up. And this is what is the major remedy could be seen, especially as a reward from the spiritualistic lifestyle. Over to you.
Yes, I can tell you with my own experience. If a person wants to get a handle on their emotions, then meditation is the best thing they can do. Because I was also struggling with the distress. I was also struggling with the anxiety when I passed my 12th, and I was clueless what I should be doing. And then I was actually going through some tough times. I would say trying times, and in a sense I just hit the bad patch, right? And to come out of this particular kind of situation, I just came across a book, and in which I found that if a person sits down and meditate and concentrates on one particular object or chant a mantra, they can really get rid of the kind of problems they're going through. And this is what I did, and I am still doing this, and I'll keep doing it, because I've seen some miraculous changes in my life. I've seen that nothing actually affects me, anymore. The problems may be there, the challenges may be there, but they don't seem to affect me, because now you actually kind of understand yourself, and you kind of understand your emotions, and that emotions are. No, as we are human beings, so emotions will be there. Sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're happy, but this should not affect you. And this is what I've experienced through this meditation. And I would also suggest people to go for this, and they should be doing it very mindfully. It should not be done unmindfully. And if it is done properly, this can, these are the benefits, and these are the the minimum benefits I mean suggested
Right.
and I've just talked about, they can see some immense, you can say immense benefits, and you can say multiple, benefits of meditation. The next question is, tell me how can spiritualism help the society tackling with the, you can say, the environmental issues like degradation is there, right? And we the climate change is also there. So how can spiritualism help society and the world itself handle these climatic change kind of issues and degradation kind of issues? Over to you.
Right. I mean, these climatic issues, I think, have never been into consideration of people with this level of sincerity before, as it is being taken now. And the sole reason for that is that we have become more materialistic. So when we say we have become more materialistic, which means our cravings for material things, objects have become, magnified. It has become multitude. So the ultimate, brunt is to be faced by the natural resources, which is there at our immediate, proximity, right? So I mean, with this nature of materialistic, with the mindset of materialistic, I mean, I can say that the level of the degree of exploitations we cause to this natural environment, I think is probably the one reason for why we are facing this climatic issues. So we should not, be, shying and shirking off and taking the responsibility of whatsoever has been done as a damage to the environment. It's just because of our own personal interest. This is interest which is full of rapacity, which is full of greed, right? So we first of all should take the responsibility for whatever the chaos we have done and we have caused this environment, right? Now when we talk about the solution as a remedy as to how you could really suppress it or how you could minimize it, since if we continue to go with this rapid exploitation, so we can assume that next 100 or 200 years will be the overall life of this planet, probably because things will be depleting at its pace, as we come to know how these all OPEC countries which produce oil have now declared that they have reserved oil for the next 30 to 40 years. And after that, you will not be facing and experiencing any fossil fuels. So we have done this level of damage to the environment. So our generation to come perhaps will not be able to experience this kind of fuels which we are now experiencing it. So this is all the gift that we are giving to the generations to come ahead, right? So we need to understand that how this exploitation has really multitude, multifold, provided cause multiple damage to this national environment. Okay. Now, once we acknowledge it, we try to see the result. We try to see a particular remedy. Again, as I talked before, that spiritualism here could really play a very significant role, because spiritualism, if you see and try to touch the surface meaning of it, we understand that it is not about material. I mean, if you look the word spiritualism, it is starting with its prefix called spirit, and spirit itself opposite to matter. Matter is made up of atom, so our body is made up of atom. Okay, so we call ourselves materialistic. So since we identify ourselves with a body is a completely composition of matter, and therefore our inclination towards matter is more. Now spiritualism is there to teach you that you should identify yourself with spirit as a soul, which has its which has its you can say uh, consciousness. Okay. As its product, you can say, which actually is infuses, which is infused inside our body, right? I mean, with the help of it, we take decisions and everything. So this is what we have to acknowledge. Spiritualism is there to help to understand us that what is the value of spiritualism in one's lifestyle. When you become spiritualistic, you become less materialistic. And when you become less materialistic, obviously your demand, your cravings for material things would be somewhere dwindled, right? And that is what we need. So, for example, a rich person who could survive his life with only one car, what is the need of purchasing multiple cars at the same time? I mean, this is what is the basic teaching through the moderate lifestyle, which is the overall gift of the spiritualism. I mean, how many people know about late President Abdul Kalam? I mean, he was a complete, truly figure who really projected the true meaning of spiritualism. He had only 10 pairs of uh, outfits, attire, and thousands of books in his room, in his bookshelf, right? And he had nothing such expensive in his, but he had done more as a benefit to the society. He had produced many things for the society. He had produced the utility, because whatever he has produced, that has a certain degree of utility for the person to use it. So, with this mindset, if we grow, if we utilize the resources that we have at our hand, I think we ultimately justify with the natural resources. I mean, we need to take this question very seriously. And the way, the rapid speed which we are going at and continuously exploiting this natural environment, I don't think if we don't practice this spiritualism, I think the world will not be a longer more than 100 to 200 years. So we have to be very cautious about this. Over to you.
Yes, so I've got, one more question. It is the last question, but it is last, not the least, right? The question is, how can integration of spiritualism can, help us, in so in leadership front. For example, how can our decision making process and how can people become compassionate just because they have adopted spiritualism in their lives?
I mean, it's very easy to understand. I mean, for any for any person, if you see them closely, such as the person who rigorously follow this moderate lifestyle, you will find some common traits, similar traits in them. But they are very much compassionate. They are very much kind. They are very much helping in nature, and they don't have any sort of vanity, which mostly people have, especially after they reach and taste some level of success in their life. So this is the beauty, especially which is basically a common trait among the one who follows this spiritual lifestyle. So even when they have reached to the high acme of their career, they still seem to be touching to their grounds, right? So this is what is the beauty of the person who lives this spiritualistic lifestyle. Now, what we learn from these people is that even when you earn a lot of things, even when you become more famous, you always intact yourself with a sense of responsibilities for the society. This is the major purpose of the life. I mean, what is being taught by the religious books, or let's say by spiritualistic life itself, that if you have a quality of doing something greater, something bigger, then rarely people could do. You should be doing it with a devotion that many people should be the beneficiary of your act. And that is what is the most important, you can say, an aspect of a spiritualistic lifestyle, which you can't find, especially in the person who lives the life materialistically, right? Because if you earn a wealth, you will only use the wealth for your own purposes, for your own people, for your own people living in your proximity, or especially for those who provide you, who assure you of some benefits in the future, but not for the society. So, I mean, this level of idea, this level of lifestyle, and this level of sacrifice can only be expected from this spiritualistic lifestyle and the person who follows this. So, this is the greatest teaching that we have, and these compassion, kindness, and humanistic, altruistic attitudes are just the ingredient, are just the common trait of these altruistic, or all these spiritualistic, spiritual followers, right? So that's what I think in this. Over to you.
Yes, and in the absence of these qualities, like being compassionate and being kind-hearted, being supportive, and being being a well-wisher for the people, I think spiritualism will lose its sense, because
Right.
it is then will be it'll then be hypocrisy. People are not actually they're trying to be spiritual, but they're not actually, because these are the ingredients of being
Right.
spiritual, sorry. And one must be following on practicing these things. Only then spiritualism will have will reflecting in them, right?
Right.
And this is something which is really beautiful about spirituality. One becomes very compassionate, kind hearted, and supportive, and they are always wishing well for people, and they're always thinking of the humanity and the welfare of the humanity, right? And this is if people adopt this spiritualism, I think everybody will then be thinking of everybody else, and this world is going to be a heaven on the earth, right? And the journey of life is going to be the sweetest one, right?
Right.
So this is what we have to means we had to discuss. We will be coming up with some more interesting topics on the channel. So stay tuned and keep watching the video, right?
Okay.
Till then, take care.
Good night. Bye bye.